The West Virginia Mountaineers' little brother, Marshall, along with Old Dominion and Southern Miss, are telling Conference USA to kick rocks. Let's talk about it. What is up, college sports fans, fellow members of Mountaineer Nation? This is Coos, coming to you once again with yet another episode of Coos' Corner, where I serve up college football and some college basketball content to you just about every day. I know another video without my microphone, so I apologize if the sound is not quite as good. I'm out of town this week traveling. Too hard to pack my microphone and bring it with me. Had to fly, so I'm trying to downsize here and find a way to still get videos out to you guys while I'm out of town. Topic for today, obviously, Marshall, Old Dominion, Southern Miss. We all know by now they're three of several teams that are leaving Conference USA as part of conference expansion and realignment, and those three schools are going to the Sun Belt Conference. They were supposed to leave before the 2023-2024 season, but these three schools now are telling Conference USA, we're not waiting that long, we're leaving now. So they decided to leave this summer, the summer of 2022, and compete in the Sun Belt Conference for the 2022-2023 season. But Conference USA is saying, not so fast, my friend, from the words of the famous Lee Corso. They're saying you're not doing it. And they're even going as far as to threaten to file a lawsuit to keep these three schools in the conference through their contract period. They've even went as far as they've already made the 2022 football schedule, and those three teams are in the schedule. So they've dug their heels in, man. They're not willing to let these three teams leave. These three teams are even willing to pay their buyouts. They're not trying to get out of paying their buyouts. They're wanting to honor their commitments in that regard and just leave early. And these three schools also claim that they have reached out to the Conference USA to negotiate an early departure, and the conference has declined to negotiate. So it sounds to me like these three schools are doing what they need to do. But Conference USA is not willing to bend on this. Now, what could prevent these three teams from leaving early? Conference USA does have bylaws that require 14 months notice before any team leaves the conference. And there are legal experts out there who claim that those bylaws could be binding and may keep the schools in. However, there are other legal experts, per this article I'm referencing here, from Ross Dellinger with Sports Illustrated, some legal experts he talked to who also claim that those bylaws have no penalty attached to them. So that could allow wiggle room for these three schools to get out. So it'll be very interesting how this scenario plays out. And if it could get real ugly if the Conference USA does decide to file a lawsuit. There's a couple different ways it could happen. They could try to file a lawsuit in the state of Texas, which is where the conference is headquartered. But most of the legal experts out there claim, according to this article, that more than likely they're going to have to file 3 individual suits in each state these schools are located in. So you're looking at one lawsuit in the state of West Virginia, where Marshall's located. You're looking at one lawsuit in the state of Mississippi, where Southern Miss is located, and one in the state of Virginia, where Old Dominion is located. So the Conference USA would have to fight 3 separate legal battles in 3 separate states. Think how complicated that could get. And then, on top of that, state entities have what they call sovereign immunity. Sovereign immunity means that a state entity, which a state university would fall into that category, are not allowed to be defendants in a lawsuit filed in their own state. The Conference USA may not even have a precedent to file those lawsuits in those states. They could get shot down immediately. Plus, on top of that, what judge is going to rule against a school in his own state? Especially if he lives right down the street from the school, or close to the school, or has ties to the school. That could be career or political suicide for a judge, potentially, to do something like that. And let's look bigger picture for a minute. Not only is this situation going to affect these 3 schools and Conference USA, it's affecting the Sun Belt Conference. The Sun Belt Conference is supposed to release their 2022 schedule on March 1st. I'm recording this video on February 21st. That's only 8 days from now. Sun Belt Conference doesn't know whether to add these 3 teams on their schedule or not, because this hasn't been settled. So it's putting them into a tight situation as well. They don't know what to do. Then you've got the even bigger picture nationally. Look at the national landscape of college football. You've got all this conference expansion happening. You've got Texas and Oklahoma leaving the Big 12 to go to the SEC. You've got Houston, Cincinnati, UCF leaving the American to go to the Big 12. You've got BYU leaving to come to the Big 12. You've got all these other schools from Conference USA that are going to the American Conference. I mean, it's all over the place, right? What happens if Conference USA loses this battle? And these three schools are allowed to leave now before their bylaws say they can. That could open Pandora's box and allow all these other schools to leave their conferences early, potentially. So this could create a huge mess, not only for these three schools and conferences, but in all of college football and college athletics as a whole. So it'll be very interesting to see how this turns out. In my opinion, Conference USA needs to just Conference USA needs to sit down with these schools, negotiate an early buyout, make them pay a little more money than they wouldn't have to pay to leave early. Get this behind you so that your existing institutions in your conference can move on with their scheduling. The Sun Belt Conference and their schools can move on with their scheduling. Everybody can move on. Look, these schools will be lame ducks the last year in this conference. Do you really want that? It's not good for your conference. It's not a good look. Also, Ross Dellinger talked to other school administrators within the Conference USA. They're not even happy with how Conference USA is handling it. One of the things they pointed out, if Conference USA digs their heels in so bad on this, so hard on this, it's going to make Conference USA look like a hard conference to deal with, and it's going to make it harder for them to attract other schools. Think about that. They're not painting themselves into a good light here. And one administrator even made the comment, he thinks it's more about hurt feelings than it is a business decision. Too many egos, guys. Conference USA, you need to put your ego aside. Negotiate with these three schools. Negotiate an early buyout. Let them leave so that everybody can move on. It makes no sense for you to be holding their feet to the fire and digging your heels in on this, because it's not good for anybody. Even your own current institutions that aren't leaving are getting caught in the middle of this mess. So negotiate early buyout. Let them leave. Everybody move on with their day. Let's get on with the 2022 season and put it behind you. Well, listen, guys, let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think Conference USA should negotiate an early buyout with these schools and let them leave? Or do you think they should dig their heels in and make them stay and honor the bylaws in the contract? Let me know what you think in the comments section. Also, if you like this kind of content, please hit the red subscribe button. If you like this video, give me that thumbs up. All those things, the comments, the subscriptions, the thumbs ups, they all help the YouTube algorithm, help my channel grow. And if you want to support me financially, you can do so by joining my Patreon page in the description box. You can hit the join button right below this video and join Couz's Corner through YouTube. I also have links to Venmo, PayPal, and Cash App in the description. You can send me one-time donations that way as well. All those things help my channel grow. I really appreciate you tuning into this video. Hope you liked it. And until next time, Q Country Roads.